I work for Renault. It's a European, I don't know if you know Renault, it's a European automaker, but I work here in Brazil. And knowing all the challenges the automotive sector shows, you have read in your book, Driven to the Light, and despite Mercedes-Benz has had worked hard, very hard to delight your customers, um, we know the whole customer journey in automotive has had to change. Could you tell me more about it?
Yeah, first off, you work for an incredible car manufacturing company, and I
All
think
right.
Renault has really committed itself to creating a great human experience alongside of a great automotive experience. So I want to make sure I highlight that part. Um,
Okay.
how has
Thank
automotive
you.
changed? Well, we know how it's changed, right? I mean, when you go through lockdowns and you can't go into dealerships and people can't sit around and wait for service on their car, it forces that whole industry to figure out ways to provide service experiences where we can still help you buy a car and service your car without you having any risk to your health. And we also have to find ways to keep our employees healthy. All of that has been the journey for so many brands in and out of automotive. But because of it, I think we've started to see that we're really developing experiences where, as much as I can do without having to have a person involved, we need to make that available in case I want to just have that be that way. Do I need to stand in line to pay a bill, or can I pay a bill online? Do I want a person available to explain to me what is going on with my car? Absolutely. Do I want someone to send me a picture of what's going on in my car as they're underneath there servicing my car and give me a little story about what's going on with my car and hit send, and I can look at it in my feed of social media or my feed in my a text message. We're just looking for technology aided, human powered experiences. And so I think that what has happened is a lot of this was on the roadmap for many automotive companies. It's just gone way faster because necessity required us to find ways to stay in business when we couldn't necessarily sit next to each other in a dealership.
You have described it very well, the automotive sector. It's just like the complicated deal with dealers and our partners and all the employees, that it's not the automaker employee. It was amazing. Was it the hardest sector you have worked with so far?
Well, automotive is very difficult among the sectors because you're right. It relies on a bunch of people who have the Renault sign on front of their building, but their business might be Michelli's automotive company, and all my employees in that dealership are my employees, but they represent your brand at Renault,
Yeah.
and you have a philosophy about how you want people treated, and you have a collaboration agreement, a partnership agreement, a dealership agreement with people who own those buildings. It's constantly about influencing, encouraging each other, setting a higher standard, holding people accountable, educating, encouraging. It is a tough industry. So it's up there for me. I think, I've worked for Airbnb as well. I think that's maybe a smidge harder because instead of dealers who represent your brand, we're talking about a grandmother who's renting out her room. And we're talking about, a bunch of college students who are trying to rent their dorm out, even though they don't have a legal right to. And it's a whole different, the seller that represents the platform has much less of a relationship with Airbnb than your dealer body does with Renault.